Morning greetings to everybody. Ngumntungwa, umbulazo omnyama, babla mhlehlo. Labe ngulo kaMzilikazi. Mzilikazi kaMashobana, ushobana nogasa kaZigode. Zigode kamkhatshwa, okhatshwe ngezindi inyawo nemfushazana. Umkhatshwa wawuzimangele, unyama yintini yawuzimangele. Nini nadla izimfe ezimbili kwaphuma ikhambi linye. Omathumba sale ngempisi bantunga bangcwaba uma basowaba sentabeni kwadliwa ilanga lishona umbilini wabo nwayilanga bantunga lihlaza mantunga amahle bantwana benkosi inkubela abayihlabe ngamanceba bakhule ngezinyawo nina bakantokela indaba ezithi ngingunompilo ngingukhanya umthombo wokuhle kodwa iqhwalento asahlobo inkosazane yelanga nenyanga ikhehla lesalukazi umawusha kamoya ungowekhethelo inkanyezi yamakhosi wakomntungwa esingike ngasho guys I did mention I was going to graduate so I had to pause everything until ngiqede that process because everything is a process and everything is a journey and this journey does not end, as I've mentioned a long time ago. So yeah, first I'm just going to be grateful ngizobonga kakhulu ngizobonga izulu nje kokuqala for guiding me and strengthening me ingipha amandla in this journey. This journey requires humbleness. This journey requires selflessness. This journey requires umuntu ukuthi ehle. Ngibonge nje amakhehla nezalukazi ezingisingathile, ithunywe ezingisingathile, the universe itself, because I am nothing without all these things. I am nothing without all these forces. I am nothing without God. Akukho nokukodwa engikwenzayo kwamandla ami. Today ngizokhuluma about spirituality guys because spirituality one how you grow and graduate in spirituality and ngizokhuluma about the face of spirituality it because ngathi iyasixaka kakhulu and we are confused amongst ourselves ukuthi kahle kahle kuyini ukuba siyini spirituality. I'm a spiritualist guys and before being a YouTuber or having a channel go YouTube I've always been a spiritualist. I'm a medium, I'm a shaman. Before coming to YouTube ngizoziveza ebantwini I've been doing that for years. I've been practicing for years. Now as I did mention, ukuthi ngizoyenza ama videos I'm not one to do part 1 or part 2 or part 3 unless it's necessary guys. I teach and I move on. The first one that I'm going to do is the growth and graduating in spirituality. Before I did videos about phase 1 of growing of spirituality and finding inner peace, phase 2, phase 3, and I'm still going to do the phase 4, which also talks about growth and development. And now also I'm going to talk about a phase of spirituality, but I'll touch base lapho later on. Growing and I was saying ayikho entsha kimi. Being on YouTube and talking about, I think I did a video, my last video was about Inzuza spirit and being a self-initiate. Ngicela ukuyichaza kanje. Angiyenzanga leyo video to market people. Angiyenzanga leyo video so that I get kukhula number of followers. I've always taught spirituality. I've always been a spiritual guide and mentor in this physical world, because we have spirits guide and we have spirits guidance. before calling, before gift, there has to be spirituality first. We have to work on your spirituality. And I think one of the things abantu abangayitholi, most of the videos I've done previously, I'm going to touch base on iBhayibheli kancane today and touch base on my videos as well, because wonke ama-video engayenza, I think I did about 20 plus videos talking about spirituality. It was not because I was confused of who I am and what I am, and I suddenly woke up the next morning and discovered. No, I'm a spiritualist. I teach healing. When I speak of the power of healing with Tabi, ngisazoyichaza when I do a video of my journey, and not a journey of anything, but how I got to the power of healing with Tabi, because in the name itself, in a meaning, there's a story behind. But one thing that I do with the power of healing with Utabi is to teach people how to first heal spiritually. Then we can touch on your calling later. You first need to discover yourself, deal with the fundamentals of your being, of your spiritual being, deal with the cause, and then we get into the electives of being in a calling, guys. Yonke into inama stages inezigaba. In spirituality kunezigaba. Stages in which you follow. Akukho nokukodwa kwehla kufika ukuthi boom. Now today discover ukuthi ngisangoma, tomorrow ngiyotwasa. Does not happen like this that in my space. And whenever I do these videos based on my space. Now, I spoke about the spirit of Inzuza. Guys, I was very much aware when I spoke about that, and I did mention in the video that I was very much aware that I have albinism. I was very much aware that there are risks that will follow. Or I was very much aware of the vultures we call people that we live with. So even my mirrors and things young bonis who have albinism. So I'm very much aware of who I am. I did not discover myself now. So when I talk of these things, angithanda ukugxila kakhulu in the calling, edlozini, emathongeni, ethunyweni. It's been overdone. Guys, if a gift yakho has not trained you and taught you ukuthi ubani nana, if you're going to depend on social media kakhulu, you're going to lose yourself. If you're going to depend on ama YouTube videos teaching you of who you are, and linda izinto zizambule kuwe ngendlela efanele zizambule ngayo, then you'll be fine. Ungafuna ukuthi uyenze quick, ufuna amanye amandla ufuna ukuwalanda, uzowaphiwa ngesikhathi. Because I think in all my videos I speak about timing. Yonke into inesikhathi. And if you're going to use, you're going to do izinto ngendlela right, linda leso sikhathi. Kunalento engifuna ukuyisho ke. First and foremost nje, before ngizongena about growing spiritually. Ukuqala kokuhlakanipha kumethemba uJehova, people. The first wisdom, it was that lento phrase does not speak about ukuhlakanipha in terms of intelligence, but kukhuluma ngokuhlakanipha wisdom. The first wisdom that you seek for is the wisdom of fearing God. Because when you fear God, you will understand that in the hierarchy of everything, He comes first. Spirits, whether Inzuza spirits, Ndawu, Mdawe, Nguni, those spirits have been there from ancient times. Akukho kusha nokukodwa kulama spirits esiqalu okuqabukwayo manje. They've been there. They have been spoken about. Akuthu ngoba uThabile ukhuluma ngaye namhlanje, uThabile sekayazi kangcono. It's always been there. I did say I wanted to rectify some misconceptions that were done. Also, when we talk of spirits, guys, without God, lama spirits lawa wayenzi lutho. Without God's grace over you, ngaphandle komusa kaJehova, even neyiphike esiyifalekayo namabhayi eswafaya will not work. Before you can go into the venture of a calling and discover that one, qala ngekuba spiritual and understand ingaphakathi lakho, understand your spiritual being. Akuzukukusiza ukukhula ku-calling, but you do not possess the right attributes for spirituality. What do I mean about the right attributes? I mean the right qualities that one has to possess in spirituality. People's skills, empathy, love, sympathy, kindness, humbleness. Oh, for the humbleness is even worse. Patience, perseverance. You need those attributes. And when I speak to my clients, I start with, when I do, it's called consultation. I don't call my session, I call them sessions, not consultations, not appointments, not readings. It's a session because we first need to break the walls that you have built for yourself, or that you have built for your spiritual being to come out. So we first have a spiritual assessment, break things down, and part of building you is to heal the spiritual being first, because goodness is over the years that we need to tackle on before sizoqala nge-calling. I don't start with the calling. I try all the time ukuthi i-resolution, let it not be ukuthi ngitshela umuntu ukuthi ayothwasa, or i-resolution ukuthi hambe uthenga ibhayi. That is the last resolution, and only get to that resolution when kukuthi abantu abadala, they then show you ukuthi okay, lo muntu uyayidinga lento. But even with that resolution, siyancenga ukuthi ake nehleni kancane so that umuntu akayithole yena. Because if we're going to say to umuntu hamba uthenga inkukhu, mina I pray ukuthi asiqale ngokuthi uthole umsebenzi uzokwazi ukuthenga lezo inkukhu zokwenza umsebenzi. That is all what we want. Sigu space, or we are in a world manje, if guys you haven't seen, sikumhlaba manje imvula siyibona elokishini, imfula siyibona elokishini. I think the past week siubonile ulwandle eSoweto. Dams have been overflowing, there's been floods, guys, there's been izindlu bezi phakathi kwamanzi. God is speaking to us. God is speaking to us, trying ukusibonisa ukuthi ngiza ngenye indlela manje. I've tried with COVID-19 to speak to you guys. Ngavala yonke into. You still did not understand me. The very same way we don't understand the calling, the spirits, the spirit guides, the spiritual realm. We don't understand it. I've said in one of my videos, the universe is very diverse and very complex that we can never say we know it fully. So I'm not one person khuluma into bese kuba ngathi confused. I know exactly when I say what I said when I said it. I'm not ashamed of coming out and saying all these things, because akukho noyane ngikudiscover manje. Akukho nokukodwa engathi mhlambe ngisakufunda. Yes, ngiyafunda. I'm still learning, because this is a ever learning process. But I think I'm one person that does not rely on YouTube. I don't watch YouTube so many times. I don't even subscribe to a lot of healers because I don't want to be confused. I already know my path. I'm grounded to what I am. I already know where I'm going. I've started a long time ago. Angifuni ukuziconfuse. And angifuni to find myself, because you know what, with mediumship and shamanism, the problem is that we see between the lines, we listen and we hear between the lines. You can hear ukuthi this video is not meant to teach, but meant to respond to someone. Guys, so the things I'm going to avoid, that the gift itself comes with a lot of things. Supernatural hearing senses and seeing senses. So I respect that, because you will find yourself getting emotional. Ngezinto ezingakufuni. Spirituality wants you avoid into eningi, ifuna ukuthi ube in a space of peace, inner peace all the time. I cannot heal people, I cannot even read people if my space is clouded. To understand, if kugcwele in my space, believe me, even that is why I say to people, first you need to go to sidile nama emotions wakho, sidile nama emotions, sidile ne pain, sidile ne past, because masizoqala ukukhuluma nge-spirituality fanele siqale nge-background and see ukuthi imvela yini ebeyinkinga in the process, imvelaphi, and then calling. Guys, akungisize ngalutho if ngizokukhuluma nge-calling namadlozi nethonga kanti angizi-understand mina. So this is what I meant when I said we need to grow spiritually and we need to graduate. How do you get to that space or to that stage or to that phase? You will not graduate. You will not grow. Awuzukhula if you're going to instill fear ebantwini. Ukuthi hayi into nje akufanelanga uvele ubuwena, akufanelanga ukhulume ngayo, akufanelanga uquestion because manje kunama vultures. If we're going to instill fear, anyeke size sithi abantwini there are certain spirits and discover yourself within the spirit bese sithi no ungayikhulumi because sekunama vultures. Vultures have been there. Ukuphila kwethu kuyi-risk. Ukufa sikwembethe, people. Ukufa sikwembethe, like it or not. I wanted to say this, and I'm sorry, I wanted to start with this. Spirituality needs you to be like this all the time. Spirituality needs you to be pure and clean all the time. And this is why what I often say to abantu, qala ngenhliziyo. I spoke about the flow of communication. And I remember also I spoke about the prophecy, God's prophecy towards your life. uNkulunkulu did not choose specific people ngoba they have certain things. uNkulunkulu akachuzana ngobuhle, akachuzanga ngokuma kahle, akachuzanga ngemali, akachuzanga. Uchoose because you had the strength to carry out the calling and serve the purpose. Akakuchuzanga because uthandwa or ungathandwa okanja. Uchoose because uyazi ukuthi uzoyi carry out kanjani this calling to heal people, because the purpose of the calling is equipments that we use, the tools, but the purpose is to serve God and heal the people. So spirituality is dinga ukuthi ube clean, and ukuba clean wakho uqala udile ngenhliziyo yakho. Ungabi umuntu honest how, I don't know if they call it is how, and also envy, if I should say that. Ukuthi now umuntu ukhuluma ngento and all of a sudden now you feel like you gave out little information, you should have known more. Akunasikhathi somona, akunasikhathi so rectifier. We are teaching, we are learning. This is a teaching and learning process. You are not going to grow if uzo instill fear kubantu ukuthi hayi manje sengiyajika from what I said previously. Anyakukhule. And nabantu abakulalele ngeke baze bakhulu, because the whole purpose, I think I use YouTube as a platform to reach abantu, okay? But for mina, a number of followers does not matter. A number of subscribers does not matter if I'm not healing people. If people are not gaining anything from me, then a number does not matter. I'm not here to gain momentum. I'm not here to gain fame. Guys, I'm not even here ukuthi ngizmarket. Abantu ababizwa uJehova ukuthi bazohilwa yini bazozela. uNkulunkulu uzobaletha if they are meant to come and be touched by these hands. uJehova uzobaletha. I'm not dependent on talking about certain things to attract people. Okay? This journey, I see competition. No one is competing with anyone. And if you're competing with when you are still in usenkingeni. Umhlaba ugcwele abantu baningi. You cannot heal everyone. That is why the gift itself is being spread to a lot of people. So, it's a good situation right now, and I keep on mentioning this, where everybody is becoming a healer and everybody otasa. And I get people all the time speaking about that to me. And we are not seeking for a resolution or a cause of the problem or the root of the problem. The only resolution that we tell people is Gutambo Twasa. I'm not disputing Gutaban Faneba Twasa, but when is it enough? When are we going to? Because I don't think intention kaNkulunkulu was to have wonkumuntu Twasi like I healer. Healing is broad. Healing, being a doctor, being a teacher, you are healing something gumuntu. Being a nurse, being every aspect of a life or every direction of your life, there's healing. Healing needs one to evolve and embrace change in the world. Evolved and learn new things and learn ukuthi umhlaba uyashintsha. We never expected floods angaga, and yet umhlaba showed us, the universe showed us ukuthi ama-floods angafika everywhere. We were looking at ama-floods at KZN, and the universe showed us ukuthi ama-floods angafika everywhere. We were i-COVID-19 izinto besizibuka kude. I think when it started besibuke China yafika umhlaba wonke. The world is evolving, and so is spirituality, and so is gifts and callings. Kusazovela abantu, guys. As we speak about God's divine plan or God's will, sisesikhathini when God is really now fulfilling the prophecy, fulfilling what He said about His divine plan. Sisazobona abantwana abazozalwa aba-gifted. Sisazobona abantu aba-gifted more than us. We have to embrace and acknowledge and that change. And respect it. And singafuni ukuthi sifuni indlela zokuyi-discriminate nokuyi-undermine. Guys, we cannot boost our ego nginto zabanye abantu or ngama callings wabanye abantu. Kuthi ngoba ingaziwa yimi ayikafiki ayikabi khona emhlabeni. None of us is God. Also, God said we cannot. Let us not worship other gods but Him. Bekekhuluma ngezinto esizigqokayo, ngezinto esizama. The power trip that we are in, because the good power trip, ukuthi ubani onokudlula omunye. Sikuleyo power trip ebhlungu futhi. You are not going to grow if you control a power trip, if you control a good status, if you control a social media, if you control a media. Awuzukhula spiritual. Spirituality needs one. You undergo a lot of things in life, and as you undergo them, you learn, and in the dingayo ukuthi you stay focused in what you are. And I think I did mention that we have to expect the unexpected all the time. The last days where there's going to be a lot of unexpected things happening. Because at this moment, we should be able to say anything is possible. Spirituality needs one to be confident and grounded to what you are. In your own world, in your own gift, in your own space. Zazi qala. And as much as uzazi, you must also know ukuthi is kukumes. Spirituality is kukumes. We cannot self-praise. For me, I think praises have to come fanele azizele wona, not self-praise. As I mentioned, ayikho neyodwa engikwazi ukuyenza amandla wonke kaJehova through the help of the Spirit's guide, because even nabo baguqa phansi kwaJehova. Even the spiritual realm, there's higher authority as well. And I do speak about higher authority a lot when it comes to the spiritual world. Inkazimulo, guys, kaJehova, inkazimulo esinayo, inkazimulo kaJehova. The anointing of God. If you've got the anointing of God, no matter where you are, whether ngiku-YouTuber, easy chaza yona. Yekela uJehova azichaze ngawe before when uyichaze ebantwini. You don't need to explain yourself. uJehova uzochaza wena ukuthi ubani, uyini ebantwini. Because the minute sizichaza, we tend to explain ourselves or define ourselves nga this superpower. Kanti amandla nakancane asinawo. If I had to do things as utabi, believe me, I would do nothing. I don't have namancane amandla. But it is through Him that is within me, that is able to touch people's lives, that is able to heal, that is able to open the universe or unlock the mysteries of the universe for people. Not me, na? Him that is within me. I often have this mantra. I've got a lot of mantras that I use. One of the mantras is that He who is within me can withstand anything that the enemy might throw around me. I'm very much aware. There's witchcraft, there's ikhali zemimoya that I spoke about, gunemimoya, guna spiritual attacks. There's a lot of things. But the one inside me is able or can withstand anything that might be thrown around me. Not Mina. I crash a lot of times. I'm human. And when into the touch a human flesh, you are going to crash. But the strength within my soul, the spirit, the strength of my spiritual being is the only one that is going to withstand anything. Anything in life is meaningless if you don't know who you are. If awuqalanga ngokudila ngawe before the calling, before anything else, anything is going to be meaningless because awukakhula. You have not reached that point where, and I want to say this, you graduate because uyazifikela ngendlela yazo ngesikhathi sazo. Izinto zizambula kanjalo ngendlela yazo ngesikhathi sazo kuwe. And then I'm going to touch on the second phase, which is now spirituality, phase of spirituality. Guys, I hear a lot of people talking about African spirituality. I think, yeah. Spirituality is like this. This is spirituality. No race, no color, no age, no gender. Because spirituality is a soul. Is soul aina color, is soul aina race, is soul aina nation. It is not grouped. Is soul, it's clear. There's no African or European spirituality. Spirituality is the same. It is the practices and the customs and cultures that we follow that differentiate it. Practices, customs, and cultures that differentiate it. However, there's a lot in common. There are a lot of similarities within what we practice, the customs and the cultures. There's a lot of similarities. Because I see why is it that we say African spirituality and yet izinto esizithengayo that we use as the so-called African spiritualists zithengiswa ama-Indians, zithengiswa ama-Chinese, zithengiswa abelungu, because impepho nama-herbs nama-beads you find them mostly in Indian shops. Crystal stones and salts and sea salts and everything, we find them in white shops. A certain beads that we think are healing beads, something like this. I want to show you something like this. We find them in Chinese shops or Indian shops, and yet we categorize it. We categorize it in African spirituality. How do they know more about African spirituality? Let us learn not to fit everything into one pot just because there is this thing happening in the world, the apartheid and whites and blacks, and now we want to take spirituality into that pot. No, ayisebenzi kanjalo. Ayizukusebenza kanjalo. Spirituality is a soul. When you speak of religion, we speak of the body and how you carry your body. I did speak about this in one of my videos. And when we speak of spirituality, we are talking about a soul. No black, no gender, no white, no albinism, no disability. A soul is a soul. And we are serving a soul. So, be mindful, because I think I've seen, some months ago, I've seen Chinese people or Japanese people, baphahla. Baphahla kanjani if it's African uphahla? And bona, they call it in a different name, but when you look at how they're doing it, it's basically what we are doing. Except the herbs maybe that they use, but we all use a candle, we all use incense, we all use incense as whether lucky sticks or in paper. We all use that. Why is it that we are all using that and yet we're saying in a race? Let us, people, what I'm here for is to teach and to learn. The power of healing is about teaching and learning. You will be amazed how much the Indian people know about ama traditions zethu. And then you have to go back and check ukuthi dala izangoma zayithwasiswa obani. Akukho kusha, guys, that this generation ekutholayo or ekuza ngalesi generation konke kwakukhona ngeenkathi zamandulo. Let us not fix what is not broken. Ngingungowekhethelo ngiyunkanyezi, and this is the power of healing. Also, I want to mention today, today I'm going to be issuing out the 5 days prayer treatment that I promised to my clients. Today is the day, and I can only thank God ukuthi sizesirithela, because angenzi anything without his guidance and without the guidance of this without my spiritual guides and all the forces that were combined in creating me. Everything engiyenzayo is to heal this world that is in pain. We need people to heal the world in pain, because the world is in pain. And as bengishilo, guys, our birth is a risk. Ukuzalwa umuntu wesifazane, ukuzalwa umuntu, because these days ubulawa ngisho use ungekho na ku space efane ngabe ubulawa usemall, ubulawa ulandwe endlini. Akuna ukuthi ubulawa ngoba abantu bayabulala. And the Bible says ubusisiwe ufayo umefele enkosini. Ubusisiwe ufayo umefele enkosini. If ufela iqiniso, you are blessed. But I'm not going to talk about ukufa because angazi abantu bayithathaphi, guys. I've been at risk for the past, I don't know, since I was born. Ngihlale ngiyi-risk nje, ngiyi-high risk anyway. The fact that I'm female, I'm a risk ku-GBV, so siku-risk nje yayo yonke into. Siku-risk even ukudla esikudlayo, because ungahamba uyokuthenga to get that it's damaged food ushone. So ukufa sikwembethe. I love you so much. Keep on subscribing. Ngiyanithanda nonke. Bye.